CDE 8451 touch interactive product. It's a 10-point touch product, and we supply the product. I've got it on the ViewBoard background. This is ViewBoard 1.0, which we also call ViewBoard for Business. We have, not to confuse you, but we have two ViewBoards. We have one that's targeted for the enterprise corporate market. That's what you're seeing now. And we have ViewBoard 2.0, which is targeted more for the classroom. It's a little more educational focused in its support. It even has some curriculum tools if you're in physics, math, chemistry, or what have you. But for the purpose of this discussion, we're talking about the productivity for business and enterprise. I'm going to show you ViewBoard 1.0 interactive tools on our 84-inch. So right now I've opened up ViewBoard. ViewBoard, by the way, the software comes with our products. So when you buy an 84-inch or a 70-inch from ViewSonic, you get ViewBoard either 1.0 or 2.0, depending on the model. In this case, the 84-inch, you get ViewBoard 1.0, again, for a business focus. So 84-inch, 4K, 10-point interactive touch, simultaneous touch, a lot of functionality. We also have this product configured with our optional PC. So in the side of this product right here, we have a PC option that is optional for the customer. It's an Intel i5 class product, and it also has, of course, ViewBoard loaded on it, running Windows 8. Windows 8. So keep in mind that is powering a lot of our functionality. You do not need our option. If you have your own PC, that's fine. It only requires you to have a USB connection between your PC and the board, so the touch panel, the touch frame, talks to your application that you would be running on your host PC. So within ViewBoard, you've got this toolbar, and I like to call the horizontal bar your annotation tools. So I can pick pen, I can pick different writing devices, I can pick different colors as an example, and I can annotate. And the responsiveness is excellent on ViewSonic's touch. The responsiveness, there's no delay, very responsive. You also have other functions here like drag, select, minimize, maximize to make it larger, cut, paste, and functions you would normally do in any kind of annotation tool. So it's a real productive annotation tool for those interactive applications. So how do we make this productive? So we've got the annotation tools across the bottom. If I open up the menu, the start menu, now I have my file management tools. So within file management, if I go to File and Add as an example, you can see here that there's the common Windows files that we deal with all the time. Our document Word files, our PDF, our Excel spreadsheet, everything that we normally use on a day-to-day basis, I can go ahead and select and bring into this. I'll show you, I'll just bring in a file just for demonstration. And let me go ahead and minify that. Now I can take that and I can make it large or small. I can do a lot of different things with that. So back to my file management. So that's on the file add functionality for those tools. The second tool is the insert function. On insert, if you look, I've got all my media files. So my MPEG for video, bitmap, JPEGs for images. I can do a lot of different things, and just for demonstration, I'm going to go ahead and open a video file now, and you can see here I can run video. So everything I do on ViewBoard. So what's actually happening here is, without opening up the native application, I can create a palette, if you will, a background, and I can mix and match video, file types. So from a productivity perspective, I can bring up different spreadsheets. I can bring up mixed spreadsheets with PDF documents. I can bring up videos. Let me kill the audio here so we don't get disrupted. I can bring up videos. Also, on the vertical, this is a historical run of what you've done with the board today. So if you're in a presentation or a classroom, it's going to run a recorded history. So here's some of my earlier ones, the blank. Here's one that I did when I was setting up that you probably saw me do. And in this case, just for demonstration, I can run multiple videos at the same time. So I'm running multiple videos, PDFs, Word files, Excel files, all on my palette at the same time. So, and that's really productive. And of course, if I want to do any annotation, you know, I can make any annotation on these, you know, as the host of the meeting or, you know, what I'm doing on a certain file. And again, it'll keep a history of that file, what I'm doing. And if somebody did not make the meeting, I can go ahead and email it to that person, the file that we just edited or created. So again, the usage model here is you're in a meeting room, you've got multiple content types, you're mixing and matching, you're making edits, and you can email those out, or you can export them as JPEG, PowerPoint, you know, PDF. You can export them as different file types. Whoop, sorry, select. Again, kill the audio. So again, I like to say that's half of the productivity aspect of this product. A great display, interactive functionality, ViewBoard productivity tools to support my interactivity. Now, let's take it to the next level. So now I'm going to introduce Solstice. Jump to the desktop. We can jump in and out. This is important also. I can jump in and out from ViewBoard to the desktop with one click of the pen. So now I've got 4 things on the screen. So now I want to introduce Solstice to you. So let me go ahead and I'm going to take my PC. Well, here, let me do something first. Come on. There we go. I'm going to take my PC as an example, of which I've got Solstice loaded on my PC. So I'm going to introduce it first and then demonstrate and walk you through the enhancement. So here you see Solstice. And the key to Solstice is very simple. Any type of content, any number of users from any device. And this is what's unique in the market today, is to be non-discriminatory, if you will, about device connectivity. So I've got my app on my PC, and Solstice software there's two pieces of the Solstice software. The one piece is the host piece. So the host software is a Windows-based software. So in this case, I'm running the host software on the PC that's installed in my 84-inch. I could very easily run the host piece, the Solstice software on a host PC and have it connected to the product. In addition to that, and you'll see when I talk about the part numbers, if the conference room does not have a PC and does not have one of our splendid interactive products, we also have a part numbering of Solstice that includes this pod device, this small device. This device is a high-powered device run by a Tegra 4 chipset, NVIDIA, so it's very fast. Actually supports 4K too, 4K video. But it's a wireless pod, HDMI output. So here again, in the case of a conference room or classroom where there's no computer, let's say everybody brings their device to the meeting, so there doesn't need to be a computer. This can act as the conduit, if you will, or the connectivity of anybody's device, any user, and drive the front of screen display or the projector. If the conference room has a projector, as long as it accepts HDMI, it can power the projector. So trying to make it extremely versatile for the market. So here on introducing Solstice, it's kind of what I said, I'll just review for a moment. It's a Windows-based software, supports live stream desktop apps, documents. I mentioned two pieces of the software, the host piece, and then there's the client side or the apps piece. On the apps, you can get the apps are all free, and the apps are fully supportive of any device. So, well, I shouldn't say any, and I'll back that up. First off, Windows. So I've got the app loaded on my PC, and I'm driving the screen wirelessly right now with my laptop. I also have the apps loaded on my iPhone, and I have the apps loaded on an iPad. So if you look at the screen now, as an example, you see at the lower, there's little colored headshots of the user. So I've got 3 things connected right now. That could be 20 things. We could have 20 people on at the same time, and you could all be sharing content on the screen. So let me go back to my presentation for a moment. I just want to make that bigger. There we go. So unlimited users, Windows-based, live streaming, display side interaction with multi-touch support, unlimited layout options, 1080p video, security. Security is really important. So right now I have Solstice. I have Solstice connected in an open environment. So if I go to my Solstice tab, System, don't mean enter, Configure, and I look at the configuration, I scroll down, Access Control, I'm open right now, but you can see there's other choices. There's Screen Key, Global Password, Moderated Mode, and determine at runtime who should be the host. This is really important. So as an example, in a classroom environment, I would want to be, I'm the teacher, I'm the professor, I want to be in moderated mode. What happens there is if you are a participant and you want to push your content up on the screen, that email comes to me first. I get a message and says, do you allow the name on your system? Do you allow this person, Billy, to present his presentation? And I have to grant a privilege and say yes before his content will be presented on the screen. So I think that's pretty important in the school environment with the kids. So you've got 5 different choices, if you will, on security, on how, I don't know why this is a little temperamental, on how the content is presented under Solstice. So just moving through here, so here's again the concept. So here's the concept. Now watch this effectivity, if this works, this productivity. I can take ViewBoard, which is ViewSonic software, and I'm going to capture that screen. Now I'm going to go to my annotation again, and I'm going to talk about, on the client side, which I told you, we're Mac OS or Windows. We're Mac OS. On the tablet side, we're iOS for iPads, iPods, Android tablets, Windows Surface Pro, fully connectivity. On the phone side, we're iOS phones, Android phones. So you can see I can actually annotate, and then you have AirPlay also off the tabs. So I can annotate now on your content that you're presenting on the screen. So that's really, really productive. Now I can make actually annotations, and so think about this in the usage case. I'm holding my sales meeting and I got my 5 or 6 or 10 sales managers in the room. I can actually have them present your forecast, present your achievement in sales. I can make edits using ViewBoard software and my interactive tool. I can edit your content, and then we can save it. We can save it because it's going to be right there in my history file that we can send to you later. So the usage case, again, is anybody can display their content. I can edit and interact with that content. So I switch right back to my desktop, and I'm back on. I don't know. There we go. And I'm back on. So any device, wirelessly or wired, connected to the display, either directly with the software or through the pod the Android pod device that I just showed you. So this talks about the pod device a little bit. Wireless collaboration, latest generation, meaning it's the Tegra chipset. Support for 4K resolution if it's used. So it's got a lot of capability. Web browsing, remote management, and you can kind of see the benefit of that. So the key here is, I think we've got all the applications covered for what environment you'll run into. So let's talk about the models themselves now. So the models themselves, I'm going to go ahead and capture this again. Pen. I'll still keep it in red. So, 4 product models. 4 product models. First off, there's our SW050, which is Solstice Unlimited Users, and this has an MSRP or street price of $9.99. We also have the SW051, which is SGE, which is Small Group Edition. So Small Group Edition is a little bit less costly. It's $7.99 for 4 users. Now that's 4 simultaneous users. And this we feel is going to be really attractive for the huddle type environments where you've got a small group, you want 4 people to participate at one time. Even if the huddle group is 6 or 8 people, it can still support 4 users simultaneously for that group. And again, this is all the software side. Now, the pod side, the same thing. We've got 1 part number that's unlimited, and we've got 1 part number that's the SGE Small Group Edition. The Small Group Edition. So keep in mind 4 part numbers. 2 software, unlimited users, Small Group Edition for 4 users. 2 hardware devices that are utilizing the pod device. There you go, the pod device, and that's also unlimited users or Small Group Edition. With regards to these other part numbers, this is for software maintenance. If you're selling into a school, maybe some corporations, they like to have software maintenance. It's really with regards to any upgrades that come across. We'll sell like extended warranty across those 4 SKUs. And then last but not least, software upgrade. So even if the customer starts with the SGE Small Group Edition and then later says, wow, I really like this, but boy, I wish I would have purchased the unlimited, we'll sell a software upgrade for $200. So you really have that option to start smaller and then grow into the unlimited version. So again, we're really trying to be cooperative in yeah, all the SGE is for 4 people. Simultaneous 4 people, yeah. So switch back to the desktop. So that's our interactive board, touch, ViewBoard interactivity with the software control, and then we add on top of that Solstice content collaboration across devices. Now for the host side up here, this is interesting. So these are from different devices, my inputs. You saw my PC. You saw my PC. So let's just take my PC and let's put it out of the way. So we can move that out of the way, and we can arrange or we can enlarge any of the windows. And again, I could have a lot of these. I could have a lot of these up. But if you're on even your phone, so I'm going to take my iPhone for a moment. I'm going to take my iPhone, hit media. Let me. These are some pictures from the Oracle show. So I just threw up another one. You can see. So it's kind of unlimited what I can do as far as my media types. So I've got lots of photos up here. And then what I can do from my phone is I can actually adjust, I can adjust the screen from my phone. So anybody can adjust. If you want one person that's collaborating with their content, you could actually tell them, put your data up full screen, and they can do it from their device, right on the big screen. Or I, as the host, can do it to be more productive. And then, of course, I can bring back my content from all my devices. So I can do that on my phone. Obviously, I can do it on my pad. I can do it from any device that I have in operation. I can fully control the screen. And I just happen to be using 2 Apple devices and a Windows device. But if I had an Android device here, it would react the same. Or if I had a Mac PC, it would react the same. So the other thing you can do, there's a lot of productivity things you can do. That's why they say unlimited layout, is I can select create stack. So I could actually put all of somebody's presentation done in a stack. So I freed up my real estate, if you will, so other people can present. And I may have 5 of your files here. You know, I may have 5 of your files that I can pan through, but I've got them stacked for efficiency in the ViewBoard itself. Unstack. So it gives you full functionality on what I can do with your content on screen, creating stacks, controlling, making screen real estate available for other people to present. I probably should mention that the pod device does not support the interactivity on the screen that I'm showing you. So the pod device is more for existing conference room presentations with a projector, maybe a big screen that's not touch. So you're not doing a touch interactive. So in that case, I've got to take my device, rather it be a tablet, a PC, my Mac, or whatever, and I've got to control, I can control the content on screen on my device, as you see. So we can do a lot of different things with the device itself. But as far as interactivity and the productivity aspect of ViewSonic's ViewBoard, with that interactivity and making edits and going to ViewBoard and making edits and then being able to go back to your edits and go back to your files that you previously done, that's the value of ViewSonic merging these technologies together to give you the most productive, front of screen interactive display for your customers in the marketplace. So all the features are good to stand on their own, but when you put them together, you really kind of get the wow factor of, I've never seen that before, to be so fluid with devices and interactivity and editing and saving files. So that's kind of the value of ViewSonic's interactive board and Solstice combined.
So the pod then, even if you had an 84-inch, it really wouldn't do anything interactive?
Right now, the pod does not support any interactivity. So it's just a display device.
So it'd be like the 50-inch ones that are
Yeah. It'd be like a display device, and you could use it with any display or any projector. Yeah.
Now, for the regular Solstice software, if you have an interactive projector, would it be?
Projector, I cannot comment on. I don't know at this point. I will tell you, with our smaller touch displays, our 42-inch touch display and our 55-inch touch display, if you outfit it with our computer, or use your own, those do support Solstice. So those could be great opportunities, once again, for the huddle spaces that we're seeing. It's a trend. We're seeing more and more huddle study centers or project teams with smaller touch interactive products. So our 42-inch, our 55-inch combined with Solstice and of course ViewBoard would be perfect for those kind of smaller venues. Yes, yeah, okay. Yeah. Pod would be a great addition for projectors if you just want to add the connectivity, collaboration feature without the interactive. But yeah, good point. Okay. What did I miss? Go back to the desktop. Do I have any questions from the group? And hope everything worked.
Yeah, I have a question. Is it possible to lock out specific users or lock out so you can only control it from the screen there? Like if you're in a classroom and you don't want students adding things at a specific point.
Yeah, maybe you missed that part, but within Solstice itself, I can go to the configuration and I can put the access control, and I could put moderator mode where I have all the power. Yeah, I have the power on what gets displayed on the screen. Or you've got a global password where you're only giving out to certain people a password to be able to present. Right now you can see I have it open, so if there was 20 people in the room, 20 people could be pushing their content up. They could just be throwing stuff, yeah. They could be throwing stuff up.
So people would have to be physically in the room to be able to collaborate with this, or does this work for elsewhere as well?
Well, as far as the collaboration, it would be anybody that's in the room, okay? But there is the scenario where this is your display for your GoToMeeting, your WebEx, or your Skype for Business session. So instead of using your computer or your desktop, you're going to go ahead and host your GoToMeeting session with your display at the front of the room and this computer that's driving this display. In that case, the team anywhere mobile could see my content and can see the content that I presented. Now at this point, they cannot push me content other than if I give them control, like we do in GoToMeeting. If I pass the control over to you, then we would see your content that you put on the screen. But right now, that's the only scenario, and that's one that is popular that we got to dig into a little deeper, frankly, to see how we can bring more productivity into the whole video conferencing aspect of it. But when I was talking to our partner on this, who is the Mersive company that is actually the author of the software, and I was talking about video conferencing, that's what they said. The best way right now is to utilize this screen with the PC driving this screen as the host, and let that be the host for your sessions. And then you get some productivity of collaboration with that. Yeah, there's, gosh, there's Barco, and I don't have them all off the top of my head, so I apologize, but the ClickShare, I think, from Barco, and there's a few other devices, and I actually have a chart that shows like 5 competitors that, again, was provided to me by the author of the software. But if I looked at the competitive products as I know them today, most of them were only supporting like 4 users. Right? And they don't have the unlimited nature that this software offers today. And if you think about it, with most of your, the environments I think that you'll sell into, most of it today is click and present, where it's one presenter at one time. You know, you can present, but you're going to click something, or you're going to switch the, the Extron switch, or if you're a structured wire conference room, you're going to switch, then you can present. But in order to get 5 people or 10 people to put their content up at once, this is truly unique. Yeah.
Yes, I know. I've seen the Epson one where they have some projectors that are on software. They do up to, I think there's like up to 20, but it's like kind of stacked.
Oh, okay.
It can't be all at once. It's like you can go first, then you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's going to be popular, and we're trying to be, out there kind of first and with this capability, and especially combined with our product to give it more functionality. But the whole collaboration subject today with regards to conference room efficiencies, classrooms going smart with efficiencies with students, this is a hot category right now, and there's going to be, I'm sure there's going to be people, you know, jumping in.
So, you know, this doesn't come integrated with any ViewSonic.
No. We kept it separate to kind of keep it simple depending on what you buy. We talked about skewing it with, you know, like the PC that comes with this display, having a part number where Solstice is preloaded, but we were kind of afraid that we were boxing ourselves in. So we wanted to keep it open to begin with and see what kind of success we get with customers. Okay. Any other questions from the phone people? Okay, are we good? You guys good? Hello?
Yeah, I'm good here.
Okay, what'd you guys think? What'd you guys think of the product?
Yeah, I think it's got a lot of potential. Certainly seems like it's a powerful, powerful solution, both the hardware side and the software. And I can really see how this sort of thing would be very useful, both in the education environment and for meetings and collaborations. And it'd be really nice having the remote aspect as well.
Yeah.
But I think as is, it's a very good solution.
Oh, one other thing I should have mentioned, that every Solstice hotspot, if you will, has its own identity. So if you have back-to-back conference rooms, this is a thing that came up with me 2 weeks ago when I was at Cardinal Health, big company, big corporation, is, well, I've got a conference room on the other side of that wall. They may have Solstice for their, right? So every Solstice has its own dial-in number. So even on the app, so when you load your app and you activate the app on your phone, it'll give you the Solstice number. So you're not pushing content to the room next door. You're only pushing content to the room, the display you want to see. And your neighbor could be pushing content to their display, and it will not interrupt with you.
Can we get a copy of that competitive chart that you were sent?
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
No, and I agree with
Does it work via Wi-Fi?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Did Mary have a question?
Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Mary.
Nope.
No, I was just going to say that I agree with Corey. It's very powerful tool and software. And my people from Latin America, they're all really excited about it, already talking about it. So
Okay.
they can't wait.
Very good. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Can you say something really quick? Is this available for which product? All the large format displays? Is it limited now with the availability of the product?
No, it's available for any display, really, because if you, again, to understand the 4-part numbers, if you buy one of the software products, you've got to load it on a Windows PC. But that PC can drive any display, right? And if you go for the pod type, where Solstice is preloaded already on the pod, HDMI out, you have to have an HDMI display that'll accept HDMI cable, and it'll power anything, a projector, a display, you know, small format, large format. So with regards to what it's compatible with, there's no limitation. There's no limitation.
Is there, because it's like Wi-Fi or wired, is there a limit to the size of the phone? If you're like unlimited, you know how Bluetooth only has like 30 feet radius kind of thing?
Oh, the distance? I don't know how to answer that question. It's basically the strength of your network in your facility, right? Yeah.
So it is whatever Wi-Fi is.
Whatever Wi-Fi strength you have in your facility, yeah. Okay. I want to thank you very much for your time today. Yeah.
Thanks for hopping on, guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Great.
Bye.
Thanks.
Take care.
All right, bye.